As you know, we've been trying to talk to you about Johnstown Heights. Do you have a moment for us?
Sure, absolutely. Always for you, Tony.
We will address the governor's claim that he is always available to answer our questions in a bit. But let's begin with why it is critical we take important questions to the state's most powerful elected leader.
We all know that we can do better on mental health in Colorado, making sure that people get care when they need it, identifying and addressing gaps, and coordinating agencies.
That was the governor 2 years ago during a bill signing that promised to transform the state's behavioral health system.
I think it's terrible. I think it's awful.
And that takes us to this 92-bed mental health hospital about an hour north of Denver. How would you describe that experience?
It was horrible. It made it worse.
During the past 10 months, Denver 7 Investigates has aired more than a half dozen reports uncovering and exposing critical failures inside a facility licensed by the state to provide critical care to some of the state's most vulnerable mental health patients.
I'm saying they're all about profit. They're all about doing anything to make a person stay so they can charge them more.
We've heard more than a dozen telling testimonials from patients, mental health techs, and nurses.
In so many words, Johnstown Heights is a Nothing they're doing is helping the patients. There's no safety measures, and you're lucky if you can get out of there alive.
We've also brought light to a questionable death. It happened last November. 39-year-old Christopher Dixon died in the hospital's detox unit. A death questioned by a county coroner and a nurse.
He should not have died. It was not an accident that he died. It was negligence. That's why he died.
Based upon your review, should Christopher be alive today?
I believe so, yes.
Our reporting was followed by multiple inspections by state regulators. Records show since October, state inspectors uncovered 20 violations, but have not issued a single fine, even though failures discovered during the inspections forced regulators to place Johnstown Heights into a category labeled immediate jeopardy, the state's most serious and concerning designation. And then we learned this.
Were these surprise visits by state inspectors, or did the facility know they were coming?
The facility knew.
Couple hours?
Couple days.
Multiple inside sources telling Denver 7 Investigates that state regulators are tipping off their surprise inspections, apparently informing senior leaders inside Johnstown Heights that inspections were coming.
Whenever they had state come in, they would staff up. They'd call people in and say, it's all hands on deck, everybody's got to be here. So it appeared to the state that they were fully staffed.
And that brings us back to the governor.
Do you have a moment for us?
Absolutely. Always for you, Tony.
We found that answer a bit baffling. Here's why. For weeks, we had requested an interview with Governor Polis. In a text message, we were told, we are unable to accommodate this request. We then sent an email with options for interviews on 8 different days over 2 weeks. This time we were told, we appreciate your work on this and respectfully decline.
Okay.
Bottom line,
Yeah.
we've been trying to do a sit-down interview with you.
Yeah.
We didn't want to meet you like this.
Go ahead, yeah. Always happy to.
And that's why we were forced to meet the governor before a public appearance. Our questions focused on why his state agency, the Department of Public Health and Environment, stands accused of making sure surprise inspections are anything but a surprise.
Your state agency,
Yeah.
our sources say
Yeah.
they've not been handling surprise inspections as a surprise.
Yeah. So we want to be made aware of anything like that, and we have an email address that I want you to get out there so that people can inform us of any incident where anybody might have gotten a head up, so that we can fully investigate this and hold the whole unit accountable.
We also found this response interesting.
Because of course, Tony, no institution should ever get any kind of heads up for a surprise visit. Now, to be clear, there's other kinds of visits that they do that are not surprise visits.
Interesting because despite the governor's suggestion, data obtained by Denver 7 Investigates tells a different story. Take a look. Since October of last year, the governor's Department of Public Health and Environment has conducted 25 inspections at Johnstown Heights. Data shows none of the inspections were scheduled. In fact, All 25 were intended to be surprise inspections, data adding credibility to concerns raised by our sources.
What the sources said in our reporting is they were alerted not hours but days beforehand, staffing up, cleaning up.
And if there's any incidences that you uncover or that your sources can share with us, we want to make sure we hold anybody responsible fully accountable.
They don't know who or where, they just watched it happen.
So if it in fact occurred, we know who did it, and then they would be accountable, which means that they could lose their job with the state if in fact they did that.
Your team told you we were going to be coming. You saw our reporting.
Yeah.
What was your response?
That we want more information to hold anybody who violated our policies accountable.